Welcome back, mother lovers, to a brand new episode of Last Call at McLaren's. I am your host, Josh, here with my best bud, John. How you doing, man?
You forgot something.
Oh, I just
the best
decided to change
damn
it up
How
a
I
little
Met
bit.
Your Mother and Father podcast ever.
Fair. I just decided to change it up a little bit. Didn't want to be too cocky today.
Well, today I will be the cock of us, and I will say we are the best at what we do. You motherfuckers will listen to us.
Fair. All right. And if you're not, well, fuck you. We are here, folks, today to talk about How I Met Your Father, Season 1, Episode 8, The Perfect Shot.
The perfect shot.
I really like this episode. It has some good stuff going on in it. So the air date of this, March 1st, 2022, for those of you listening later on. Directed by Linda Terrick, who also works as the assistant director on the show and is a assistant director on the current season of The Conners. All right. And Jeremy Roth, who is a co-producer on the show and an executive story editor and staff writer on the show Love, Victor, for those of you who watch that. It's on Hulu. All right. Summary for this episode. Sophie and Jesse navigate a day in the life of an artist. Valentina retaliates against her boss. Sid and Ellen deal with an unexpected visitor. Yeah. All right. So, John, I'm going to get your first, just like your broad initial thoughts about this episode.
My broad initial thoughts on this episode was there was definitely a How I Met Your Mother-esque vibe to this one, like strong vibe.
Yeah.
And I know we're trying to be better about like not doing so many comparisons.
Gonna roll right into it. That's cool.
This one, there was just so many moments where I was like, well, that's a straight, like, not to skip into it too far, but I was like, that's Alder and Justice. Like,
it totally is, man. Oh,
and then like
absolute Alder and Justice.
There was the moment when Jesse's fixing the car and Sophie's trying to get like the picture.
Yeah.
And I was like, for some reason, I got New Year's Eve vibes from that one from season 1.
Yeah, I could see
like,
that. Yeah.
Like, it wasn't so much about like the situation. It was just kind of like the way that it was being played and everything. And I was like, okay, cool.
Know, it's dark. There's a broke down car. 2 of the characters kiss. It makes sense. I mean, a lot of stuff happens that's similar to that. I get that. I get that. But I thought this was a pretty damn good episode. Excited to talk about it.
Yeah, it really was.
We got our first previously on to start this.
Yeah, I thought that was actually really cool.
I'm just like, hasn't pretty much all the episodes kind of tied in some way or another to each other? But it's just like, I don't think I needed a previously on.
I don't think so either, but I think it's kind of funny because like, clearly there's this episode and then 2 more.
Yeah.
And they want to make sure like you're following along just in case you haven't been.
Yeah. It's true. Because I'm assuming this is gonna run for the next couple, these last 2 episodes too. Whether or not she gets into with this lady with her perfect quote unquote perfect shot, because she was offered it, now she's taken the shot, now she has to give it to the lady. And we'll see what happens there. Who knows? Maybe she will, maybe she won't. But
maybe.
All right. So this episode is split again into 3, which seems to be something that they like to do with most of their episodes.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Everybody's got to have something to do.
Yeah, and it's nice that there's. We've said this before. It's nice that there's 6 people because they can do that a lot easier.
Yeah, instead of having like a 2-story, 3-story.
Yeah.
So
we got Sophie and Jesse. We've got, I guess technically it's Sophie, Jesse, and a little bit of Drew. We've got Val and Charlie, and Sid, Ellen, and Meredith. Yeah,
Meredith.
Yeah, Meredith shows up into town in this one. Interesting stuff. So, let's dive into things. Again, we start off the episode like a lot of them, where the group is together before everything is split apart, which for the most part, I like that structure. I hope they start to do some different type of episodes, like in the next season where it's not just, everybody's together and then they split into 3 different story arcs. I want to see more. I want to see some different ways of telling stories. as well in the next season. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, so Sophie doesn't think she's good enough. A lot of stuff going on here. Ellen and Val trying to help her get this perfect shot. They're all just like looking at different pictures that she has. We find out Jesse's recording an album, or he's recording music again. He seems real excited about this.
I really love Ellen's comment about the one picture that
the tampon
took,
the blurry tampon.
She's like, I really like this blurry tampon picture. And, it's kind of like a metaphor on how we need to focus on women's rights. And Sophie's like, that was an accidental picture that I took of my purse. And I'm like, even if it's that good of a shot, maybe you could use it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Sometimes those great shots come out of nowhere. And,
speaking of that, that is a perfect metaphor for this entire fucking episode.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it is.
Could not have said that any better.
Yeah, man. Perfect shots come out of nowhere, sir. They really do.
Look at you being Mr. fucking Wisdom over here tonight with your Batman t-shirt.
Boom!
You go and see the Batman, and all of a sudden you become a fucking rogue scholar.
Boom! Look at that cup.
Oh, man.
He is the world's greatest detective after all. So.
First off, bullshit.
No, he is. Fuck Sherlock Holmes.
You're gonna start fucking whole nother war over here with people.
That's true.
So I will say this though. I thought it was really cool to see everybody pulling together. And then, like you said, Jesse comes in talking about his recording. And I love Sid. You want a kiss on the forehead? He's like, it'd be weird if you didn't. And I'm like, I think it's more weird than he does.
Yeah. So when Jesse came in, I noticed something. I didn't even notice this until my third watch because I just wasn't paying attention to the background. Jasper is behind the bar, on his phone the entire time with like earbuds in, literally doing nothing. Never looks up, nothing.
Nope.
I'm just like, what the fuck? The last several episodes he's been in, he has not had any dialogue.
No.
And
no, I'm pretty sure he's maybe said 3 lines the entire series.
Yeah, probably.
So now, what did you think of Sophie's fruit salad?
Dude, when she first said it, I was like, fruit salad, and then she pulls out the tray. I'm like, oh, she stole the fucking garnishes.
I love though that not only did she steal the garnishes, she brought her own fucking beer.
No, he did that. Jesse brought.
Oh yeah, Jesse did.
Jesse,
you're right.
Yeah, he's like,
and then he gives one to a patron.
Yeah, he's like, he says something like, "This is my starving artist hack," or something like that.
Yeah.
And then some random dude's like, "Yo, can I get one?" And the funny thing, they all opened their beers, right? Like I even rewound it.
Sophie leaves with hers.
She leaves with she hadn't even drank it yet.
No.
Any of it. She walks out with a full opened beer bottle.
Yeah, I was like, she just walked out with an open fucking container. Like, hello.
Yeah, I was like, okay, maybe let's leave that there, Sophie. She's gonna get a little drunk on her walk. That is probably why she falls off the railing.
I'm just, oh man.
Yeah, there's a lot of good, a lot of good little fun things.
And at this point, this is like where our breakdowns start.
Yeah,
because we find out that
we also
Drew is having
we find this out at the bar. Drew has invited them to a big school fundraiser.
Yeah, and this is where it starts to break down into smaller stories.
Yeah. So, which of the 3 would you like to tackle first?
Let's talk about the fun one. Let's talk about Charlie and Val.
All right.
Because this one was actually, I loved this little story arc.
Yeah.
So Val decides that she wants to donate to this charity that Drew's school is putting on, and she wasn't quite sure what she wanted to do. So we get to see her job for the first time, which I thought was actually really cool. And then you get to meet Val's boss.
Yeah.
And he is a straight out dick.
Yeah, I literally wrote in my notes, Valentina's boss is a dickhead.
Yeah. Like, he has this fucking doll that looks like her, and he braids the doll so that he can legally, like, talk shit at her, even though, like, it's clearly, like...
And I mean, the idea of that is funny, even though it's really fucked up. But what's even funnier and worse is the other girl.
Oh, yeah. No, I felt worse for her.
It's a fucking yam.
Yeah, she's like, at least yours is an actual doll.
And it's a yam with, like, googly eyes and, like, some...
And, like, a little hat. I was like, "Aw, poor thing."
I didn't realize it was a yam the first time. I thought it was just like a weirdly stitched thing or whatever. And then when I watched it the second time, I was like, "Wait a minute, it's a fucking yam."
So here's my question, though: legality-wise, would that actually work?
I don't know. I feel like they could, like, if she was able to, like, record what he was doing, they might be able to, like, a judge might side with them. Just because I think they, he might just be like, you know what you're fucking doing.
Yeah.
But if he has a good lawyer, they could probably argue that. You know what I mean? Fair. And that's really fucked up.
I mean, it is. It's still. I mean, is harassment and asinine as that is of a boss, it's still kind of funny.
Yeah, in the context of the show, it is funny.
If somebody was doing it to me, though. For one, they'd be picking their ass up off the ground.
Yeah.
Two, they would have to go to the hospital to get a doll surgically removed from their asshole.
I knew you were going to go.
And three, my one phone call would be to you to come bail my ass out of jail.
Oh, my God. That's too funny. But Valentina goes a different route.
She goes Aldrin Justice.
Yes, sir.
And decides that the item that her boss is going to donate is this one-of-a-kind clutch.
Yeah, Chanel bag thing, yeah.
Yeah.
She knows what it's called. It's got this whole thing. Yeah.
Well, what's even funnier is Charlie knows exactly what this bag was called.
Oh, yeah.
As apparently men can buy purses, too.
Yeah, as he says, men can be bag hags, too.
I was just like, you know what? I'm not even going to argue that because, I mean, it's true.
It's true. Interesting side note that ties, a little bit more into How I Met Your Mother. Valentina is wearing a purple dress.
Yes.
Which I thought was interesting because the stuff she's doing, everything that's happening here is
it goes very, very
it's not good. Yeah. So, like, it works with the whole purple thing with
I had thought that she was wearing like a very nice purple little number. And it just made me laugh because, like I said, it was total Aldrin Justice. I don't give a shit what you like anybody says. That was you were a dick. I steal something from you. And then her and Charlie go to the school. Yeah. And she's like, nobody's gonna know.
Oh, hold on. There was one really funny moment before they left where she's like, don't look at me. Don't look at me like that, you judgmental bitch. And Charlie, like, thinks she's talking to him and gets upset about it. Yeah. But she's actually talking to the doll.
What was even funnier, though, was his line before they officially walk out where he's like, well, I know what the nightmares will be about tonight.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, man, poor guy.
Funny because, like, when she says it, I'm like, God damn, why are you being so mean to Charlie? Right. And then I was like, oh, she's talking to the doll. Okay.
I forgot the doll was on the table at that point, to be honest. Too. But yeah, so then, like, they go to the school, and I think it's funny because, like, Charlie's really worried they're going to get in trouble.
Yeah.
And she's like, he never checks that area. He won't even notice it's gone. And she instantaneously, because, has to happen in a TV show.
Yeah, it's only 22
gets
minutes.
A text message, and, like, purse is missing. Someone stole it. They're going to be in trouble. And now she's panicking. And Drew starts the auction.
We don't actually know if the boss thinks somebody stole it. All she says is he noticed. So as far as we know, it could just be he's like, where's that purse? What happened to it? I don't know we never actually learned what she says or does about it after they get it.
And we don't even know how she gets it back in there.
Yeah, we don't know any of that.
But we do know that Drew starts the auction with the purse.
Yes, he does. Okay, and so I had a problem with this. He starts it off $500, right? And Val's like, okay, I guess I'm going to have to bid on it. And this lady out of nowhere is just like $15,000. Who the fuck at an auction jumps from 500 to 15 fucking thousand without trying to get it cheaper?
Right?
I'm just like, what the fuck is that shit?
I was like, the moment she did that, I was like, either this purse is worth way more money than
that even.
Yeah. I was like, fuck. But Valentina's just like, well, I guess that is over, and like throws her number on the table. Yeah. I was like, damn, this bitch just fucking ruined everything.
Oh, yeah. And, well, Charlie steps up because Vale's freaking out. She thinks she's going to get fired and blackballed in the fashion industry and everything. And he steps up. He's like, I'm not going to let, essentially, he's like, I'm not going to let that happen. I'm going to swipe the purse back.
Swipe the purse back.
And, I mean, he does.
Listen, had he not just stood there for a minute, he would have been fine.
He would have been fine if he had just grabbed it, turned around. Because the problem is he backed in, like he was walking backwards and then suddenly turned as he was walking backwards. It's like, dude.
Something suddenly came up.
And here's the other thing about this. They just, not including taking it in the first place, what they just did here is grand larceny. Because that chick paid $15,000. She had it in her possession, which means she had to have paid for it already.
That is true.
Yeah. Because they won't let you have the stuff until you pay for it.
I hadn't actually thought about that.
And like everybody saw them because
he screams her name. Yeah. Valentina, run!
So I'm curious, like, will there be any repercussions for this?
No, it's a
Probably
TV show.
Yeah. I'm just like, that could have been written a little bit better.
It'll get played off where like Drew probably gave the money back or something, but we'll probably
they probably won't even mention it ever again.
We'll never see anybody in that school ever again because they all probably killed themselves.
That's true. I mean, especially that one lady. She just lost $15,000
and the purse.
Yep. So, oh well for her. And then the last thing that we see of them is them stumbling into the bar at the end, making out. That's really the end of their story because everybody kind of converges back in the bar at the end. So, but yeah, I really like this little story because this was the shortest storyline too.
It was.
When you kind of combine everything that happens in it, it was the shortest, but it was one of the most probably the most entertaining one throughout.
I would say it was definitely the most entertaining one. It was my favorite part of the story. Yeah, to be honest with you,
it wasn't the most important. It was actually the least important story.
Oh yeah, it was the least important, but the most fun.
I think this would be what would be called the C story, but it was, like you said, the most entertaining one.
Yeah. I mean, like, I get they really needed to get the Drew, Jesse, and Sophie story going. Yeah. And I understand that the Meredith, Sid, and Ellen one was an important story. Yeah. But I'm like, this is episode 8. We've got 2 left after this. It was a little late to pull the trigger on the Meredith card.
Yeah, I guess.
Could have easily have shoehorned her into an earlier episode. Because when...
Because I mean, it hasn't been that long. No matter if you did it in episode 3 or episode 8, the time frame isn't that long. So yeah, I guess I get that. But the thing is, like, Jesse still never finds out at the end of this episode.
Well, that's not true.
It is.
We don't know the phone call he took.
He said it was the tow truck driver.
He said it was the tow truck driver.
I don't see why he would lie to anybody about that because he goes outside to wait for the.
Because he doesn't want anybody to know he's still hung up on Meredith.
I literally think it's face value.
I don't know. I'll believe it when I see it.
Because I don't think she could have just called him if that was going to be the case. But she showed up. You know what I mean? Well, if she was just going to call him, she would have just called him.
Well, she couldn't. She didn't have his number.
No, but what I'm saying is, if she was going to, she just would have. She wouldn't have just shown up. You know what I mean? But she showed up. So, yeah, that's why I'm like, nah, it was the tow truck guy. I don't believe for a second that it was her. And so that, to me, that means that he doesn't know yet. If he did know, because he was on the phone, he would have been a bit more shaken, I think.
True, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm still gonna hold on to. I think that it could have been something else.
I mean, they give no reason.
Let me have my damn moment.
No, because I think that would. I feel like that would alter how he would have had that last scene.
Unless he's not gonna let it phase him anymore.
I don't buy that for a second.
I don't. Like I said, man, I'm just gonna have my moment of belief.
I mean, he barely was able to get on the stage.
That is true.
You know, I think being confronted with her, that's going to be a thing. And I wouldn't be shocked if we get that in the next episode, since they didn't get there yet. You know, Sid and Ellen,
I guess since we're talking about the Meredith thing, let's dive into that part of the story then.
Yeah.
So, you know, Sid and Ellen are hanging out at the bar after everybody kind of starts to do their thing.
Well, first, no, because this whole thing happens with Sid in the apartment. He's like looking at his suit, and Meredith shows up.
And there's a knock at the door.
Yeah.
Which then he yells like a girl. He screams like a girl. Like, I'm like, dude, do you really get like that scared that somebody knocked on your door?
Yeah, it's like, it's not like somebody just walked in your house. Like, somebody knocked on the door.
I forgot that he calls Ellen. Yeah. But yeah, so he opens the door, and who should be at the door but Meredith?
Yeah, that's right. And she apparently got signed by a label. She's working on a new album for them. She was on the Drew Barrymore show.
Yeah, but we don't find any of that out right away.
I know, but I'm just like, all this stuff is happening for her.
I mean, it's good like, for her, I guess, but like,
yes, it's like,
here's the thing that kind of pisses me off.
Where's the karma?
Like, yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. Like, Sid instantly throws it in her face when he's like, you know, like, you left, you took off, you know. So what is you being here gonna do? Uh-huh. And she's like, oh, you know, I didn't know how to react to being proposed to. Well, there's usually one way, and you can say yes or no.
Yeah.
You don't just fucking take off for like however long it's been, like a couple months at this point, I think.
Probably, yeah, at least, yeah, I'd say.
I don't remember if they've actually given a time frame, but I think it's been at least a couple.
Yeah. But yeah.
So then it's like,
don't like her.
So she's like, well, I really, really need to talk to Jesse. It's important. And that's when, because this is where he's like, you know, stay here. Jesse will be here soon. He goes back to Pemberton's.
But she asks, okay, real funny. Something that made me laugh is when she asks for the Wi-Fi password.
Oh, yeah.
And it's Meredith sucks. All one word, sucks is capital.
Yeah. I mean,
and I laughed every time I watched it, and that part happened. I don't know why.
I mean, that was pretty clever. I was like, well, I love how she has the ploy to like get in for people. Like she starts trying to like
she can really charm people real easy. Yeah.
Hey, have you done something with your skincare? You know, that's really nice of you to notice. And he's like, no, wait, I hate you.
Yeah. But yeah, then he calls Ellen and is like,
we got a code M.
Yeah,
I love how she shows up and she's like, "We don't have a code M, so this better be serious."
Yeah,
and he's like, you know, Meredith's at the apartment right now, waiting for Jesse.
Yeah, and they think that she's pregnant.
I mean, that's a good guess.
Yeah,
but there could be 100 reasons why she would.
Oh yeah, back. It made sense when they said it, and I was like, "Oh shit, that would be interesting."
You know? That would have been a fucking twist.
Yeah, it'd be like some Scrubs action. You know what I mean? That's what that reminded me of. Yeah,
I was like, okay, so like, I'm like, well, where is this gonna go? Like, because at that point we didn't know what she was there for.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, well, maybe she is pregnant. Maybe. Yeah. And then I thought, what if while she was separated, she started dating somebody and got engaged?
Ooh, okay. Yeah, that would have been.
In my mind, I was like, oh, man, that would fucking just shatter Jesse's world even more.
Yeah.
And so then, you know, then
I actually think that would shatter him more than the news that she does have.
I would 100% have to agree.
I think so.
Yeah. So then she shows up at the bar and she's like, Jesse hasn't shown up yet.
Yeah.
What's going on? And Ellen's like, oh, what?
Yeah, and apparently she had never met Ellen or anything, so like she was like, "Oh, you must be Ellen," and then like she starts to try and charm her.
Barbara Waters.
Yeah, Barbara Waters. That was a good impersonation of Barbara.
It really
Walters,
was a pretty good Barbara Walters.
I like that. Oh, quick side note: we see Jasper again in this scene before she comes in when Sid and Ellen are rapping.
Yeah,
he's just like giving them like the stink eye about it, man.
I don't like his character. Man.
I don't either.
He's a waste of TV time.
You could literally have just a random bartender, like, you know, Sid just, you know, has a couple of part-time bartenders that come in and out here and there. Just like at McLaren's, there were random bartenders that weren't Carl that we didn't know who they were. I feel like I would like that better because, like, I tend to notice Jasper when he's there now. Yeah. And he's usually doing something that annoys me now.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't, like, I get that he's there so that Sid and Charlie can do other things.
Yeah.
So there's at least somebody watching the bar, but just have it be a random other bartender.
I feel like, though, he's part of the reason why they're losing money.
Oh,
he doesn't seem like a good enough bartender to give a shit.
And maybe that will come to fruition. I don't know. I can only hope. He's like, you know what? You're fired. What? Okay. I'll go record a podcast now.
Right.
I make fun of him for recording a podcast as we are currently recording a podcast.
I was going to say, what if he's been recording a podcast from the bar the whole time?
I would not be shocked.
Behind the bar with Jasper.
Yeah, I absolutely would not be shocked.
Just saying, man.
So Sid then fakes a text from Jesse, which is hilarious because he's like, ding! Like he makes the noise with his mouth, which I thought was just hilarious because she doesn't notice. She buys into the whole thing, and they say that Jesse's back at the apartment. And they go back
at the apartment
to the apartment. But then Ellen does like this overacting thing when they get there, and Meredith sees right through it. Yeah. And,
right through it too.
Yeah, and this is where then she tells them all the stuff that she's doing. The new album, she got signed to the label, the Drew Barrymore thing, and then she has a single that's about to drop the next day that's about her and Jesse and their relationship. And I mean, I don't think it's, like I said, I don't think it's going to hit him as much as if she had been getting engaged or pregnant. But I think it will shake him because he's trying so hard.
He's trying and she's already succeeding.
Yeah. Like, he's the one who got shit on, who got dumped and left there and became a joke because of this video online. And yet she's the one who is succeeding.
Yeah.
Like, karma is not biting her in the ass. It's like doing the opposite.
Yeah, know? It's pretty shitty of karma, but I mean, he gets a happy moment at the end of this episode.
Yeah, he does, which we'll get there. But and then, you know, Sid and Ellen are at the bar trying to figure out how they're going to tell Jesse, and then they almost do, but it never happens.
Nope.
They never get around to
it. Because that's where the convergence of everything happens, and we'll get back to that.
Yeah. So, I mean, this storyline was fine. I don't know where it's going to go. I'm sure. I mean, they have to resolve it. They can't just leave it open.
I was going to say it has to get resolved, and I'm sure the next episode or the series. I feel like
it has to be the next episode because the single is going to drop. She said tomorrow. So
true.
The next day that he's going to know, he's going to hear that song. It's going to come out.
That is true.
You know what I mean? So I feel like there's got to be something there. And who knows? I feel like this next episode, probably these last two episodes, are going to get kind of wild because of everything that happened at the end of this episode, the stuff with Meredith, possibly even the stuff with Valentina. Who knows? Because it technically never really resolved.
That's true.
You know, so
I'm sure that one though will get, like we said, though, just brushed over.
Probably, but it could be interesting. You never know.
It could be.
But yeah, so let's then talk about the main story, and that is Sophie and Jesse with a sprinkling of Drew.
Let's talk about the asshole card here for a second. Let's talk about Drew.
Yeah, okay.
I really like I liked his character for the last few episodes.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like I was like, oh man, this dude's really, really chill.
Mm-hmm.
And then this one episode, I was like, wow, what a fucking dirtbag.
Yeah, like, I mean, we're gonna jump around a little bit here, but like they show up at the event, and you can tell he is annoyed with her.
Yeah,
because she's late. She missed the meeting the superintendent that he wanted her to meet really badly, and he's like, they come in. You know, he's like, you know, the tooth thing doesn't bother me, you know, whatever. It isn't a big deal. But that bird shit on your shoulder leaves something to be desired for. Hands in pocket, doesn't even make a move to try to get her like a napkin or to help her to clean herself.
Ask if she was okay after the fact she has a broken tooth.
Yeah, not once does he ask if she's okay. Jesse's the one taking care of her in this entire episode.
Yeah.
You know, getting her teeth fixed, getting her a fucking napkin for crying out loud that he could have done when he noticed the damn bird shit.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
I was just like, wow. Man, I'm like, they built his character so well.
Yeah.
And then in like 3 short minutes of our time, completely unraveled his character.
Oh yeah. And like after this, there's no fucking way that she would wind up with this guy.
No.
There's no way. Not like I don't buy for a second now that she could end up with this guy with the way that he thinks about her career. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it was really bad too, because like he's like, oh, you know, I offered Jesse. Well, let's go back to the beginning and we'll get back to there.
Yeah.
So, you know, like her and Jesse, like they're out, like she's trying to find her perfect shot. And as she's trying to get her perfect shot, like Josh said earlier, she falls off
yeah, she's trying to take a picture of this old couple kissing over a steam vent.
Yep. And she falls off like
right over the railing off of the railing.
Thank you. And falls like pretty much face first into the cement. And she's worried about her camera, which I get.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I've never broke a tooth, so I don't know how that feels, but you would think that your mouth would fucking hurt. And your first instinct wouldn't be necessary. Like you would think your first instinct would be like, fuck my mouth. But like, no, it's her camera. And then she sees in the reflection of the window that her fucking tooth is.
Oh yeah, it's jacked.
Yeah.
So then she calls Jesse and she's like, do you know a good dentist?
A cheap dentist.
A cheap dentist.
A cheap dentist.
And he's like, if he's like, I do. If he gives you a free toothbrush, can I have it?
Which, dude, that was hilarious because I'm like, I respect that. I respect the hustle for the free toothbrush.
I mean, it shows that Jesse has good dental hygiene.
Sure. Or he's just really poor and wants a free toothbrush.
Maybe it's both, man.
Or
maybe
both. That is
probably
why. That's not probably why. That is why he goes to a cheap dentist.
At least we know that him and Meredith weren't sharing a toothbrush.
Fair. Very fair. Then they get to this dentist.
Yeah.
And it gave me they do this whole thing where like Sophie, like future Sophie, talks about how like I may be exaggerating, you know, like how old he was or whatever. And it made me think of Slapsgiving, where Robin's Robin's older boyfriend, Ted, sees him as like this old dude. And it made me think of that, like, because I went back and rewatched Slapsgiving so that I could verify something when we record our next regular episode.
Oh, okay.
And so that was literally just fresh in my mind. I was like, oh, huh. They're kind of dipping into that pool a little bit, which I thought was
fair.
Fun.
You want to talk about it?
Oh, it was just that that whole thing right there with exaggerating somebody's age. You know,
fair
story.
Because I noticed for the episode of How I Met Your Mother that we're getting ready to record for, I caught something that I had never caught before.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So to side note on to How I Met Your Mother for a second, and I'll bring this up when we record that episode too. Ted goes and hangs out with his family.
Mm-hmm.
His nephew, it's Grant.
Yeah, it's Tyler / Grant.
It's Barney's son from later on.
Yeah, his fake son. Yeah,
and I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, they reused the actor.
They reused the actor, and I was like, weird. "Oh my god!"
Yeah, it's so weird. But yeah, back to How I Met Your Father. Yeah, this doctor, like I said, she is future Sophie is saying that she's probably exaggerating some of the stuff. But what we're seeing, we could just go by what we're seeing. He calls her Sofa, which I thought was funny. Says that he's gonna give her a haircut.
A haircut. Yeah, I was like, what?
I'm just like, I would not want this guy working on my teeth. I'm sorry. Like,
I mean, I get it. Like, dentists have a very boring job. Sometimes they try to be like overcompensate with humor.
Yeah.
So I think part of it,
he does a hell of a job in a fairly quick amount of time.
Yeah.
Like, surprisingly.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, okay. And she wasn't all numbed up or anything.
No.
So that was,
I thought was kind of cool.
I don't know what he did, but
and then after that, her and Jesse are on their way back to the event.
Yeah.
When Jesse's car breaks down, out of everything else that could happen,
and it just seizes and just stops.
Oh yeah, she fucking like bashes her face off the dash, breaks her tooth again.
Yeah.
I love how Jesse gets out, by the way, and he's like, "Yeah, my mechanic said I would have to replace this sooner or later. I thought I had more time."
Don't we all, man? I feel like we've all been there.
Listen, you are preaching to the fucking choir right now.
Oh yeah, man.
Still have no power steering in my vehicle. It has been almost a month and a half at this point.
I bet those arms are getting beefy though.
Dude, get jacked.
You're like, you gotta try out my new workout. It's the no power steering workout. But yeah, so Jesse's trying to fix the car.
He is.
And Sophie is looking for her tooth. And she finds what she thinks is her tooth. Jesse and like you can tell, like just like I was looking at, I was like, I thought even it looked like a Tic Tac, you know.
I thought it looked like a chiclet,
which it probably was like an actual Tic Tac, like the production people probably did.
Probably.
Use one. So he grabs it and puts it in his mouth, and he realizes it's not a Tic Tac, it's a pill. And I have two questions. One, you find a dirty Tic Tac on your car floor. First, why are you putting that in your mouth? Two, why the fuck is there a random unknown pill on your car floor? What is happening in this car?
Come on, have you never been popping an aspirin in your car and just accidentally dropped one?
No, in my bedroom, sure, not in my car though. Just I don't think I've ever actually taken a pill in my car. So
well, aren't you just a lucky person?
Because I don't carry them on me. I don't have
right.
any in my car anymore. I used to, but
true.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
No. Let me tell you, as a person who has an emergency stash of aspirin in his car, just for you know me, I don't get headaches very often. So when I do, they come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've got an emergency stash in my car. Plus, I've also got the busted tooth that
Have you dropped them any on the floor before in your car?
I've dropped them once, which
Okay.
was fucking worse because it was the little brown round ones.
Yeah, it's probably still there somewhere. Probably never found it, right?
No, I found them,
okay.
but it took. Yeah, I will say, it took a couple days to find them all.
Oh, you like dumped the bottle?
No, I had 5 in my hand and dropped all 5.
Oh no! Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, kids, your boy Jay over here is popping 1,000 milligrams at a time. Dropped all 5 of them on the floor and found 2 of them to start. And then I was just like, I'll find the other 3 as I find them.
But yeah, it's like, I'm sorry, I'm not putting that in my mouth. Even if it is a Tic Tac, I would just look at it like, oh yeah, that's a Tic Tac, and I'd throw it away. I'm not gonna put it in my fucking mouth.
Right?
Like, you don't know who, like, somebody, she could have been stepping on it. You don't fucking know.
I mean, you don't know. You don't know what kind of shit's been all over your floorboards.
She could literally have had dog shit on her shoe, and then now you're eating a dog shit Tic Tac.
Yep.
Enjoy that shit tac.
But yeah, so now they're a little bit behind.
Yeah.
They finally make it to the event.
Well, before they even do that, this is where she gets her perfect shot.
Oh yeah. Jesse's working on his car a little bit, trying, and she realizes, well, we think it's the perfect shot. We don't know yet.
She says this is the shot. That is true. By that. Yeah.
And so she does. She gets her shot.
Yeah.
She takes a few pictures of Jesse working on his car. He does this, should I look up at the sky thing?
Which is cool because it's a callback to the previous time they were doing remember the profile picture?
Yeah.
And he has like the weird pose that he does. Because he
Yeah.
can't be natural in a damn photo, apparently.
Well, I mean, whoever is.
It's funny, though, because the first time she took a picture of Jesse is the first time she met Drew.
Yeah.
And now this time she's taking a picture of Jesse and things fall apart. I think that's it. I don't know if they did that on purpose.
I don't know.
But I think that's an interesting, like, kind of bookend type of thing.
Yeah, that is
here.
I didn't actually think about that until you said that.
I literally thought about it right now as we were talking about it. And I'm
Chills,
like,
man.
That's interesting. I want to know if they did that on purpose or not. But they even have I don't remember if it was before or after the photo, but they have like a moment, a shared moment, as you like to say, where he essentially he calls her amazing.
It was before this.
It was before that. Okay.
Yeah. It was after she gets her. No, it was right before this.
Okay. Yeah.
Because it's after she breaks her tooth for the second time, and he's telling her how like amazing she is, and how she'll get what she wants, and like blah 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 blah. And
which I was like, I like this. They're getting closer, and like you can see that like it's hitting her. It's like she's seeing him in the way that he sees her. She's starting, you know what I mean?
To say it in a not so PC way, her panties were definitely wet.
I mean, he was already popping a tent. You know that. That's right, folks. This is the show you signed up for.
Hell yeah. We're getting real.
That's right. But yes, then they head over to the fun. They finally get the car fixed.
Finally.
Head over to the fundraiser. And Jesse says this thing that I agree with Sophie. It's kind of messed up, where he says his middle school art teacher once told him that he had the body of a model.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's very messed up. One, I want to know, was it a guy or a girl? Like the teacher? Because that makes, I'll be honest, one makes it a little bit worse. It's still really bad.
100%. But in my mind, when he said it, in my head, I went, I really hope it was a woman.
Yeah.
And then to resonate back to something that we both know from our time in high school, I thought Miss Walters.
No, yeah, absolutely. So, like,
and I was like,
I understood Jesse's side of that because I thought of that too, and I was like, I get it.
Tone your smile down. I said Miss Walters, and you're like, yeah,
yeah. I mean, that's people always talk about, oh, did you have that one teacher in high school? That was the one, man. That was the one. Yeah, I honestly don't know if I could think of another one.
See, for me, it was when I was in middle school. It was Miss Rosenberg. She went on to marry Mr. Corbin.
Oh, okay.
So she was fine. And
like a toiger.
Dude, she was tiny. Like, she was shorter. She was petite, but she had the perfect curves in the right places. And she always wore like this really nice button up with like always like a pencil skirt. Dude, she did it for me.
I see that.
Seventh grade, I was like, damn.
You're like, I don't know what's happening to my body.
No, at that time, I knew what was happening to my body. And I there was a couple times where I was supposed to give like oral presentations. I was like, I'm not prepared yet. And it wasn't that I wasn't prepared.
I can't stand up. My legs are numb. I'm having problems standing right now.
As we're divulging this with like everybody who's listening at this, you
guys love it. This is the quality content that you all love. So this is when douchebag Drew walks up.
Yeah, you missed the superintendent.
Yeah, and that and the whole thing about the bird shit that just pissed me off because he just like I said, stands there with his hands in his fucking pockets. Doesn't flinch or even attempt to like help her as Jesse's like runs off to grab a napkin to help her get that shit off.
She fucking broke a tooth. Never asked if she's okay.
Yeah.
Like, didn't ask how her day was, just fucking started going off at her.
Yeah, he's just pissy that she was late, and that's it.
And
then, he's being very passive aggressive about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, Jesse's like, well, I'll step off to the side and let you guys have your.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, have you thought any more about that job offer? And Jesse's like, nah, not really.
Yeah.
And then
because he offers him that because he had offered him this before.
Yeah.
In that same episode that I was talking about for the first picture,
Yeah.
the full-time music teaching position. And
then,
turns it down
Sophie's
again.
like, "Oh, you offered him a job." And he's like, "Yeah, I think every person should have a real job, not just like a hobby." Essentially.
Yeah, he says he thinks he should stop chasing pipe dreams.
Pipe dreams. That's
what
the word he used.
And then Sophie's like, "Do you think that I'm just chasing a pipe dream with my photography?"
And instantaneously, he's like, "Can we have this talk later?" And I'm like, "Wrong answer."
Yep.
Like when you say that,
because he didn't want to lie. He's too noble. He's not going to lie. So he just doesn't want to talk about it.
Exactly.
Yeah, he could have just been like, "No, of course not."
Exactly. He could have instantly just been like, no, that's not it at all. But no, fucking Mr. I'm too good to fucking white lie to somebody.
Yeah. And it's like, if you thought this the whole time, which obviously he has,
then why date her?
Yeah. Like, you knew that this was what you wanted to do. What did you think, that you were going to just be able to change her or something? Like, it's like, fuck you, man. That just makes you a bigger dick, and I don't see
you a Holden McNeil.
Yes, I do not see them coming back together.
No. At this point, I mean, even Sophie says at the end of the episode they broke up.
No, all she says is they had a fight, which they hadn't technically broke up, but with the stuff that happens at the end, I don't see it working.
I don't know. I don't see it getting back together.
Yeah,
not
I don't
even a little,
because Jesse gets to the bar, and Sid and Ellen are about to tell him about the Meredith stuff, and then he gets the call and goes outside. And then after the call, is when he runs into Sophie again.
Yep.
And she tells him about the fight, and then he tells her straight out, maybe he's not the guy for you.
Yeah. Maybe I'm the guy. And then
he leans in and just
he maxed that shit.
Boom. And it's not that it's not just that he kisses her, dude. They kiss each other.
Oh yeah,
and it is the biggest of shared moments.
And then we cue the music. Mac. No.
Mac.
Oh,
yeah, buddy.
Mac.
Our fans are like, what the fuck is happening right now?
Oh,
this is what you get. This is what you get. This is what you don't pay for.
Shit.
Right here. But so they kiss, man.
Dude, they kiss good.
Yeah. They both want it. You can tell. How this is going to affect things going forward, I don't know. We'll see. We got 2 episodes left in the season, and we got 20 more in the next season. So
4 cards down and 2 more still to drop.
But we both said they'll probably break up by the end of the season.
Yep.
And here we are.
Well, so here's a big thing though too. And I don't know if you caught this or not. You might not have noticed. All the balloons at the party, purple.
Oh, were they? I did not notice that.
They were like a deep purple, almost maroon.
Okay. Yeah, no, I
was like,
I was looking at clothes. I totally didn't even think to look at the
sometimes about the aesthetics.
Yeah, I totally didn't even think about looking around at the other stuff when I was doing that. But
yeah,
I like it.
So overall, though, what did you think though?
I mean, I like the episode overall. I love that we are finally getting the Jesse and Sophie stuff, because you kind of we saw that coming from that they were telling us, really.
Oh yeah,
it's gonna happen at some point. And they were kind of they started heavy when Drew came in. He was there a lot. Okay.
Oh yeah.
But then the last couple of episodes, I think it wasn't the last episode, he wasn't even in it. Or was the one before that?
No,
one of those episodes he wasn't even in it. And then this one he was barely in it, and then he was a dickhead. So it's it seemed like they were starting to fade out from him, which makes sense. But I like that they did it. They didn't do it at the end like they did in How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah,
that was the last thing that happened in the season. I like that it happens, and then we get a couple episodes to kind of see where it's going to go. And how,
not only are we going to see where it's going to go, it's like I said though, it's just kind of weird because it's like the whole time, like Drew's been like this really golden boy.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they really wanted to go this route. We're like, let's paint him like the golden boy. Like he can't do anything wrong.
I think so.
And then let's have that one moment where just everything crumbles.
Yeah.
But it's not like it's gonna like hurt Sophie too bad because like she obviously bounced back pretty quickly right there.
Oh yeah. So I think after that moment that they had when he was fixing the car, I think that she started really feeling that stuff. Like I think she was kind of holding it back because we have seen a few instances where they've had connections.
Oh
they've
yeah,
had
the
those
bracelet.
moments. Yeah, and so she had a big moment with him outside the car, and then the shit that happened with Drew, it's just like it felt like it was just meant to just.
Yeah, it's kind of like the cherry on the ice cream. Yeah,
like after seeing all of that, it felt natural that she would just dive right in.
Well,
you know,
I'm assuming within like the next episode, we're probably going to see Drew try to do the "I'm sorry," blah blah blah, take me back. Yeah. Love triangle for the last 2 episodes, probably.
Yeah,
we'll probably get a like.
She'll probably be all conflicted and shit, and I'm just like, he got nothing to be conflicted about. This dude's a dickhead.
I was gonna say he showed his true colors with this one.
Yeah,
and it's hard to say that because, like, I mean, get in the moment of like sincerity.
He wants her to be something that she's not.
No, and I get that, but I get where he also wants her to be successful and stable. But I mean, artists can make a stable living.
Yeah,
he needs to believe in her as much as she needs to. Yeah. Buckle down and make money.
But it's also the fact that, like you pointed out, he didn't even ask if she was okay.
Yeah.
Like, that's messed up. That's like I have a hard time forgiving that.
Yeah, I couldn't believe, like, because that was the first thing I noticed. Like, I'm like, she's talking about her busted tooth, and he's like, "Oh, bird shit. Well, you didn't get to meet the superintendent." Like, first off, buddy, that's your boss.
Yeah,
fuck off. That like you're high and mighty on your superintendent's dick. But,
yeah, it's like, is he also your friend? Is he a buddy of yours that you play charades with? If not, like, who the fuck cares?
Yeah,
like,
it's like you're like all like, oh, you got to meet this guy. He's so awesome. Like, he's like, oh, he's a big influence on me. And
they've been together for like a month or so. It was a little, because it was a month when they went to dinner.
Yeah,
because they hadn't had sex yet, and I think it had been a month, and so it's like maybe 2 months tops that they've even been together. So it's like, and you're introducing her to your boss already. Like, I don't know. Like, get out of here.
I was thinking the same thing. I was just kind of like, I was like, maybe I don't know.
But you got any final thoughts on the episode there, Mr. John?
No, sir.
All right. Well,
let everybody see what's gonna happen in the last 2, though.
Yeah, let everybody know where they can find you then.
Ladies and gentlemen, hop on over to Twitter and find me here at Simply Sane J1.
Ooh.
I mean, if you want to. You don't have to. I can't actually force you to.
That's fair.
Although, I mean, I would try. I have these nail clippers that I will threaten you with. But honestly,
from the internet.
But if you want better content, you should probably hop on over to the channel you're already on, which is the Merc with the movie blog page, and check out Josh's trailer reviews.
Thank you. Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at JP Raynor. That's JPRAYNOR, as well as right down here at Movie Blog Merc. That is the Twitter page for my site, Merc with Movie Blog, of which you are currently watching on the YouTube channel right here. So if you like what you're watching, make sure to hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, click that little bell wherever the fuck it is on the screen. I don't know. But
usually
click it
under us.
Yeah, maybe. So that way you are notified anytime we drop a brand new video, whether it be Last Call at McLaren's or any of the new stuff. I'm going to be doing the Moon Knight reviews coming up soon. Moon Knight starts the new Marvel show at the end of the month. So check that out as well. And be sure to, if you are listening to us on podcast form, you got Anchor. So you go to anchor.fm/lastcall HIMYM. You can leave us a voice message there. Oh, actually, speaking of voice messages, we have a voice message pertaining to How I Met Your Father. So before I forget, yes,
you didn't even tell me about this.
I forgot about it until right this second. This one, it's actually from a buddy of mine, but he said he had something. He says something that at least I misunderstood about the previous episode. So we're going to take a listen. We're going to take a listen and see what Mike has to say. All right, let's hear this.
Hello, gentlemen. It's Mike, Josh's friend here, and I'm here to talk about Ellen from last week's episode of How I Met Your Father regarding her memoirs. She says that by working on memoirs, she meant reading one celebrity memoir a week, and by reading, she meant listening, so her hands are free for snacking. And it continues on with a bit where Jesse's talking about songwriting, mentioning that Sonny must have wrote a lot of hits without Cher, and Ellen's like, nope. Sonny became the mayor of Palm Springs, then a congressman, and he revolutionized the United States copyright law. It's in his memoir. It's actually a funny joke, actually, in the episode, and you totally missed it, Josh. You totally missed it. What? You watched it 3 times and you missed it, dude? Wake up and smell the coffee, and always suit up, bitches.
Well, thank you, Mike, for sending in a message, but I did not miss that any of the times. I just didn't think it was that funny of a joke. Sorry.
Is that Mike Doles?
No. It's my friend Mike, who does some of the podcast stuff on the channel.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. So I did not miss it, Mike. Sorry to tell you. I just didn't think it was as funny as you did.
I mean, it was a funny reference.
Because my whole thing that I wanted to know was, why is Ellen writing a memoir? Like, you know what I mean?
Not?
Like, that's her whole thing, is that she's writing a memoir. I'm just like, okay, but why? Like,
I mean, wait, hold
sure.
on.
Why not is fine. Like, that is, she can definitely.
I'm essentially writing a memoir. Do you have a problem with that?
I mean, why?
Because I want people to know my story when I'm no longer here.
There you go. But it's so brushed over for her because it comes out of nowhere.
That is true.
And she really doesn't explain, like no, there's no follow-up questions. Nobody she doesn't really explain the reasoning behind why she's trying to write a memoir.
That is true.
It's just, here's the thing that she's doing just to set up a joke that I thought was okay and didn't feel like it was worth mentioning.
I mean, that's fair. Mike,
but thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Yes. Definitely, everybody, as you can see right there, leave us a voice message and we will critique that shit.
No, Josh will critique it. I'm loving it.
I'll be honest, if it wasn't like a buddy of mine, I probably wouldn't critique it as hard.
Well, you heard it here first, Mike. He's
right.
only picking on you because he cares.
That's true. And also, if you listen on Apple or Spotify, you can leave us a 5-star review if you like what you hear. Yeah. And we will read those out on the air. We've had a few of those, which have been fantastic.
Josh won't critique you as bad, unless you're a friend, obviously.
Yeah, which I probably won't even know, unless you tell me that it was your screen name. And be sure to follow us on Twitter at Last Call HIMYM. And make sure to listen to How I Met Your Mother, our reviews of that on Mondays, and How I Met Your Father on Fridays. And for those of you, I mean, you're probably not listening to it right now, but if you have friends who are not in America, who have not yet seen How I Met Your Father, since I'm pretty sure it drops in a week from now, on the 9th of March, I believe, be sure to tell them about the show. You know, we'd love to hear them. They can come back and they can listen to all of the episodes whenever it suits them, because it'll be ready. Yes, suits. I don't know if when it drops for the overseas people, if it'll all drop at once, or if they'll be stuck waiting week to week.
Oh, that would suck.
Which would suck after having essentially have to wait the entirety of the series.
Yeah. Season.
Or the entirety of the first season. We'll see. But that's probably what will happen. But we'll be here to talk to you about it from the past. But
and for any of you who want to do a rewatch of season 1 and come back and listen with us again,
absolutely,
we'll be here.
We'll be
Arms
here,
wide open.
Yes,
I'll even put a pot of coffee on for you,
and he'll probably drink it all before you get there. All right, folks.
Don't you go out with me like
that. We love you, folks, and that's all I got for you. What about you, John? What do you got?
Wow, you were going to steal my thing.
I was thinking.
Go ahead. You know what? Do it.
No, I'm not nearly as good as you when it comes to this.
Ladies and gentlemen, you don't have to go home. I mean, you can literally go anywhere the hell you want. I can't stop you, but you can't listen here.
That's right. Catch you next time.